What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracka, which is comics, reviews, also movies, comedy, anything else I think kicks ass. This is episode 15. I hope you enjoy it. Since it's the 25th anniversary of the Royal Rumble, I figured I'd talk about the Rumble, Raw, and wrestling in general. But I'm going to throw up a spoiler alert because I'll reveal who won the Rumble, which most people probably already know, and some things that happened at the Rumble. Starting off with the matches themselves. It was they had Daniel Bryan versus the Big Show and Mark Henry in a cage, which wasn't a bad match, but of course Daniel Bryan, being the Weasel character that they made him now, he escaped and kept his title. He's got potential. It's just that I just don't like the Weasel thing. I think he just kind of makes him retarded. Whatever. Then they had it was CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler, which actually wasn't a bad match, and Laurinaitis, or I like to call laryngitis, he kind of did a good job, I guess would be the thing, even though everyone thought he was going to screw Punk, and he kind of did in the beginning, and then kind of decided, I'm going to kiss his ass, and Punk retained the title, which was cool, because I like CM Punk. They had, some good matches, like the Kane-Cena match was pretty cool. I mean, came to be a double to count out, and Kane and Cena were battling all the way to the back, and then Kane was kicking Cena's ass and then found the injured Zack Ryder and decided to tombstone his ass in the middle of the ring, which was pretty cool. Zack Ryder, I mean, he's alright, he's pretty cool. I mean, he's got potential too. The Rumble itself, last year they had the 40-man, which was pretty cool, and they had a couple old school characters come around, which was awesome, and I guess McMahon decided it was a good idea, because in this Rumble, they had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who was the winner of the original Royal Rumble, the first one. He came down, and I used to love Hacksaw when I was a kid. I thought he was cool. For his age, he didn't look too bad. He kind of looked like a beagle. He had his cheeks like hanging down and stuff like that. But it was cool to see him come out. And they also had the Road Dogg from DX, which was pretty cool. He came down. Michael Cole, Booker T, and Jerry Lawler were in it, which Michael Cole I can't stand. Jerry Lawler, I just find him funny as hell. I met him at a convention once, and he's just hysterical. Booker T, I mean, he's cool. He's not one of my favorite wrestlers, but he's not bad. The Rumble itself seemed to go pretty quick, and quite honestly, I just thought it wasn't as good as the other Rumbles. It kind of sucked. They did have some cool moments, like I said, like with a couple of nostalgia guys come down, but the one cool thing I thought was awesome was Kofi Kingston got thrown over the top rope, but wound up doing a handstand and walked on his hands to the staircase and was able to get back into the match. That was pretty cool. He was, I guess, pulling a John Morrison, which in the last Rumble, he jumped across and then jumped across and jumped across and got back in the ring. Other than that, the matches at the Rumble were cool, but the Rumble itself just kind of blew. I mean, there was nothing cool to it. They had Jericho come out, which everyone thought Jericho was going to be the winner, and I did too, because it's the logical thing. It looked like that he was just going to win it, but Sheamus actually wound up winning it, which was pretty cool. I kind of like Sheamus. I thought he was a cool villain. He's actually not a bad face kind of character. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. I mean, they had some cool stuff, like I said, but it really wasn't worth the amount of money that they charge. Wrestling in general, I mean, there was a lot of rumors going around for the Rumble. The Undertaker was supposed to come back at the Rumble, I heard. I mean, Hornswoggle was supposed to wrestle. Originally planned, from what I heard from rumors a long time ago, was that the Macho Man was going to be making a return, and if he didn't pass away, which sucks, the Macho Man was cool, this was going to be the Rumble he was going to come back in. They also had a rumor that Jake the Snake was supposed to be in it, as well as the Ultimate Warrior, but apparently the Ultimate Warrior still can't stand McMahon and turned it down, as well as turning down the Hall of Fame. Jake the Snake apparently had some problems as well. They were originally going to bring him to the Hall of Fame, and then McMahon kind of turned him down, which is he was a cool wrestler. I mean, I liked him when I was a kid. On Raw, they actually had The Undertaker come back on Raw, which was pretty cool to see Undertaker, although he looked a little different. Apparently he was wearing a wig, so the big rumor going around is that he might have had cancer or something, and he actually beat it and had to go through chemo. I have no idea if that's true. That's just a rumor that I heard. If that's the reason for the wig, or another thing was they were saying they wanted to give him the wig because he cut his hair and he's going to be the badass for WrestleMania, which the badass version of him was cool, but I always liked the old school Undertaker, and I like the really old school one where he would come out with body bags and the urn and pole bearer. I thought that was just awesome. Um, I mean, wrestling, like I said, I'm a fan of wrestling. I've been since I was a little kid. It's just kind of funny because a lot of people complain and bitch about the PG ratings that they have with wrestling now. I don't mind it because if you were a fan in the '80s or even earlier than that, it was all PG. I mean, they made it strictly for the kids. You know, you got hit with a chair and it was an instant disqualification. There was never any cursing. There was never anything like crazy. I mean, divas were always dressed like almost like dresses themselves, like all the way down. You never saw anything. Um, that's the other funny thing at the Rumble. Like the divas matches were just even on Raw, they're just kind of a joke lately. I mean, not that the divas aren't hot. They are. Just that they just most of the time their matches they're just jokes. And it's sad, really. Um, like I said, WWE in general, I like it. I think it's cool. Just that, like I said, when people bitch about the PG, I could care less. I mean, it's cool nonetheless. You gotta be a fan, I guess. When it wasn't PG, when it was the Attitude Era, it did have cool stuff, but I also thought it kind of got out of hand a lot of times. You're just like looking at it like, all right, how far are they gonna take this? I mean, I saw Kane put a car battery to Shane McMahon's balls and zap him, which was cool to see, but it was still like you got to seriously, come on. Um, funny stuff. But in general, I was like my favorite wrestler has always been. Originally, it was the Ultimate Warrior. I thought he kicked so much ass, but then I switched to the Undertaker, and I've been an Undertaker fan since he came out in 1990. I just think he's awesome. CM Punk is really cool. I like him. Plus, he's in the comics, so that's pretty cool. I like his tattoos and his new gimmick where he says what he wants. That's just cool. Future like, with WWE. I mean, even when they were WWF, I mean, the switch to the name was whatever. It's no big deal. It's just a name. But sometimes I just think McMahon is just greedy as hell. I mean, he throws out like tons and tons of pay-per-views, throwing out tons and tons of DVDs, and if you're a really big fan, by all means, you go out and get it. But if you're almost dirt poor like I am, sometimes it's rough to actually see the pay-per-views because they cost so much money, and it's like every month. Like back in the day, you had one every couple months, and then you had like the major ones like the Rumble, Survivor Series, and like SummerSlam, and of course WrestleMania, which is the big one. And apparently he's launching his own network and even his own network on YouTube, which is cool. Like I said, if you're a fan like I am, it's cool to watch. But like I said, McMahon, I mean, all the money that he has, sometimes it just seems a little greedy with the amount of money he charges for the pay-per-views. He should have like one, like a setup, like every 3 you buy, you get one free or something, But yeah. Other than that, I mean, the Hall of Fame stuff I thought was cool. I mean, sometimes it's just a little weird, the people they put in there, like Mike Tyson's in there. When people like say Brutus Beefcake could be in there and he's not in there, or even Lita, who's been out for a while. Love Lita, awesome wrestler, and she's hot. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I mean the Rumble was just kind of a disappointment, especially when you're paying that kind of money for it. That's pretty much it. That's all I really had to say about wrestling for right now, anyway. So tune in next time, the next episode of Cracka, and I hope you like this one as much as I like filming it. Later.